Assalamu alaikum viewers, I am Zubia Irfan. Welcome to another show of CxO Talk. As you know, it's a knowledge sharing platform for all the C-level across the Pakistan and around the globe. Every time we invite some interesting personalities in our show, today we are honored to have Mr. Jahangir Ahmad with us. Mr. Jahangir Ahmad is the managing director at Nets International. He has a deep understanding of systems integration with expertise in areas like routing and switching, unified communications, mobility, broadband, GPON, and cloud technologies. He is also an entrepreneur, having started systems integration companies in the UAE, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the USA and UK. His wide experience in both business and technology makes him a valuable leader in his field. So let's meet and greet Mr. Jahangir. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam. Thank you, Zubia, for having me on your show.
Great. So, Mr. Jahangir, could you please give a brief introduction to our viewers about yourself and your role within your organization?
Yeah, basically, I'm an electrical engineer with specialization in telecom and finance. In
Okay.
Nets, I'm a managing director for the entire
Mm-hmm.
group,
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
my role is to get the vision of the company realized that we want to become a preferred infrastructure and energy solution provider globally. And as a managing director, of course, we look at the financials, but the most important part is that how to grow and
Hmm.
enable the organization that we can achieve our vision.
Right, right. So, what inspired you to start your career in this particular industry?
Yeah, as you know, Nets is a family owned company, and my father and his brothers were the original founders. So we heard about telecom business, telecom technology throughout our childhood. And even during my O levels, A levels, and while even I was at university going back and forth in Pakistan. So we were always doing work experiences. So I really liked the work nature. I really liked the environment, the type of customers we were dealing with. So
Right.
that inspired me that as a second generation, we should take it one step forward. So telecom came from the roots, and it's been about 40 plus years, and we're looking forward to prepare the platform for another as long period as possible.
Wonderful. So, Mr. Jahangir, you have a passion for turning around businesses through effective leadership. Can you share some key strategies you use to drive successful business transformation?
Yeah, thank you, Zubia, for that question. I think business is a very complex thing. It's what has worked for me. I will share those things. So whenever we get into any business or we have to transform, it's very important to and understand the entire business,
Mm-hmm.
and then like a chess game, you have to go from one end to another end. You sometimes you go forward, sometimes you go left, sometimes you go right, sometimes the horse you go back two steps. So it's very important to plan for the things, and if something doesn't work to your plan, then you
Mm-hmm.
must have pre-planned. If this happens, what should I do? Should I go back? Should I go left? Should I do right? And the and so that once you hit a problem that you will hit into the business, you should at least have a game plan what to action rather than just standing still and getting frozen and getting in a panic situation. So
Right.
knowing the end game and then thinking about with the team that what could go wrong and what could be the possible solutions to those, so that should be planned. That's one thing. Secondly, we try to review the progress of the business on a weekly
Mm-hmm.
basis
Mm-hmm.
because there are 52 weeks in one year. If you
Mm-hmm.
are if you miss even one week, that means you have missed about 2% of the entire business plan. So weekly follow up, updates, fixing things, and that is what I would call the execution side of the things is extremely important. So weekly follow up is very important because innovation is not only a great idea. Innovation is that you are really able to execute. So remaining close to the business, remaining in touch is very important. The third thing is the people are extremely important. That looking at what the longer term business goals are, if we get the right leader to lead through, I feel that's a key element. And then trusting them inspiring them continuously. But if you haven't got the right people, as Jim Collins says, you can't even get onto the bus. So a lot of times, even myself, I made a lot of mistakes. But over the period, we realized that the right people are extremely important, and that's just the beginning of the journey. I can go
Very
on and on, but I think your other questions will remain
yes.
unanswered. So,
Yes, definitely. So, Mr. Jahangir, with your extensive experience in systems integrations across like routing, switching, unified communications, and cloud, what emerging trends do you see shaping the future of this industry?
so, in our industry, if we look at our business, we are into the infrastructure business and we are into the
Mm-hmm.
digital solutions business. So, if I talk about the infrastructure, whereby we are laying the networks for fiber optic and broadband connectivity, and on the wireless side, what we are looking at is for the training purposes, for the maintenance purposes, for
Okay.
guiding purposes,
Hmm.
the virtual reality and augmented reality is a key area that will help junior people go and work on the sites and being supported by the experts remotely in a network operations center or a dedicated facility.
Right.
The second area we feel is robotics. So currently, the fiber is being laid. Civil works are being done by mostly labor, drillers, and so on. So
Hmm.
the robotic technology is getting pretty advanced. So the manpower effort will be quite reduced, and we will see even robots doing the same thing. Then again, going back onto the AI and the VR, the survey of the sites again will be done, using these kind of technologies, so that the 3D visualizations of the areas that we are working could be done. The other area that we see in the other domains, like automation, we see. I'm not going to talk about artificial intelligence and machine learning because these are being extensively used. But if you look from
Hmm.
the networks, IT and telecom point of view, this is extremely helpful for us to create
Hmm.
self-healing networks. Self-healing means if there is a problem, automatically the issue will be fixed with the systems without involving much people. Then capacity planning, like we are on, we're all using a lot of capacity and bandwidth when we're using different applications. So the network will automatically increase the capacity so that again manpower intervention is not required. So AI, ML, VR, these are all important technologies that we're seeing are going to shape the world. And other emerging trends which need higher speed, higher connectivity, more automation is the connected, autonomous cars. Cars are being driven, and a lot of trials are happening in Middle East as well as in the US. So this is another area where networks like 5G, 6Gs, fiber connectivity, more of this will be required so that the latency, the delays, they have to be extremely reduced because this can create big consequences. So these are the areas I feel are the emerging trends and areas which uh,
Yes.
which are important to look at.
Very well said. So, Mr. Jahangir, you have established systems integration companies in UAE, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and USA. What challenges did you face in each market, and how did you tailor your approach to succeed in these different regions?
Yeah. So Zubia, every time, even while we have changed the city, like working between Lahore, Karachi, and Islamabad is very different. So whenever we go to in a new country to work,
Mhm.
um, whatever we have always planned has never worked, to be honest. Just to give an example, that we went to Dubai. So the team which we were interacting and doing the market research. So they said, Jahangir, if you look at all these buildings in Dubai, even if you get work for one building, then your whole business plan will be met or you will exceed it. So from that day to this day, that never happened. So I think the most important thing when going to a new country is proper extensive desktop research about the market size, about your competition, about the trends. These things is very important. Then visiting that country, meeting the potential clients, really finding out what their challenges and the problems are is very important. And thirdly, sometimes we always try to bring in our management from Pakistan, Dubai, and to other
Mhm.
countries. The local knowledge of the culture of the business dealing is very important. So these three things, if we combine them, this is very helpful in launching new countries. Lastly, whatever business plan we made, always
Mhm.
turns out that we had to change, or there was at least two or three times the level of investment got increased. So whenever you go to a new country, whatever plan you have made, just time into two for the worst case scenario, so that you're well prepared. You will be surprised at all levels, and every country that we have gone to had very different challenges.
Hmm. Well, you are absolutely right. These factors are really very much important. So, Mr. Jahangir, you successfully transitioned National Engineers Telecom Unit into Wateen Solutions. Could you walk us through this process and highlight the key factors that ensured a smooth M&A transition?
Yeah. So the ambition behind getting acquired by a bigger company like Wateen was that we were one of the top three IT telecom
Mm-hmm.
companies in Pakistan, and we wanted to expand internationally. And generally, even at that point, back in 2005 and 6, when this transition happened, uh,
Mm-hmm.
the the telecom company had the same ambition to have a system integrator, so that they can give end-to-end solutions to the market. Um, so with that concept in mind, we convinced our team that um, let's go and explore the world, and let's get on with more ambitious targets. So the whole team was convinced,
Mm-hmm.
and they rallied in. The second thing we worked on, to work very closely with the Teen Telecom management to understand their processes, their systems, their culture, so that we can integrate our people with them. So department by department, like the finance department, HR, technology, so we made that transition. And thirdly, we our leadership team from National Engineers, and even myself, we had our door open for all of our staff, so that any issues, concerns they had were properly taken care of, properly addressed. We had a lot of issues in this transition because the cultures are very different, the processes
Mm-hmm.
were very different, the everything was different. But
Right.
we kept the team together, supported
Mm-hmm.
as much as we can, and I'm proud to say that within 1 year the investment was recouped by Wateen Solutions. Um, the disheartening part was a lot of staff left us in the first year, but
Yes.
but we hired a lot of people even from the market, and again the team was kind of stitched and built again, and is
Right.
really good to see that even today Wateen Solutions under their new management is also doing very well.
Absolutely. So, Mr. Jahangir, system integration projects are complex and involve various technologies. What are the biggest challenges you have encountered and how do you overcome them?
Yeah, typically in system integration projects, the biggest challenge is that the requirement gathering um, is the client. Something the client even doesn't know what they really want. So it's very important to work with them on the
Mhm,
requirements
mhm.
angle to make sure those are well documented, and then the different domains which could be involved. I mean, a typical system integration could involve knowledge of voice, cybersecurity, data, data analytics. So we
Right.
have to make sure that as a team we have the in-house competency, or we engage the right consultants, so that we get the proper requirements done, and properly the project is executed. The third thing is that these are long projects. Clients also realize during the delivery of the project that there are some other things they did not think about. So those need to be incorporated with the proper change request. Um,
Mhm.
and the third thing is that before the users start using the system, proper training is very important, because people are not very open to change. This is where the humans are. So you have to prepare them as much as possible. And whenever you go live, the support structure to make that transition viable, smooth, and scalable, the support has to be set up before the new systems or the new platforms or the new
Right.
project goes live. So this is how we have been trying to address this, and every project we do a lessons learned, so that in the next project planning we can address that. Typically, if we increase on budget by 10%, if we increase on
Uh-huh.
number of the timeline by 10%, we
Mm-hmm.
consider
Mm-hmm.
this as a failed project. So planning is the key, intervention is the key, escalation is the key. So in my view, everything has to be right to deliver a successful complex project.
Very right.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Jahangir, expanding a business internationally is no small feat. What advice do you have for entrepreneurs looking to scale their businesses in new international markets?
So as I said earlier, the proper market research is very important. Meeting the potential
Yes.
clients, knowing your customers,
Mm-hmm.
having double the budget in terms of funding, so that in case something goes wrong, that is addressed. The other thing is just hard work. It's effort and effort. And I believe that with hard work, honesty, and knowledge,
Yes.
you will definitely succeed. I mean, your customers could be, or anything else could be, could put you back. But if you put in, the hard work in the right direction, I've seen that God can't be unfair, and
Hmm.
you succeed eventually. You just have to be what you call passionate about continuing. Because
Very right.
I've seen this in Pakistan, in Dubai, in KSA, UK, and now we are
Mhm.
in Germany and the US. Um, that you can succeed everywhere. The basic principles are not very different.
Very right. So, Mr. Jahangir, in the end, I would like to ask how do you think CXO Global Forum will impact your professional journey and the industry you are in?
Yeah, the CXOs are a very important community, because these are the people who are experienced in different industries at different levels. So the best practices they have done, the knowledge sharing sessions that we are part of, the events that they are doing, it really affects, because whatever decision we take as CXOs is a product of the people we know, which to
Yes.
CXOs is a channel, the books or the data that we have read, and what we have experienced ourselves. So if we look at the this mix, then CXO forum plays a critical role in introducing us to the right people to connect and to share the experiences. And the other thing is, you always have to be open to learn from the experiences and make less mistakes. Everybody will make mistakes, but I think with the right people and around the right company, you tend to make less mistakes.
Absolutely. Mr. Jahangir, thank you very much for this wonderful conversation. And I hope our viewers will learn a lot from it. And we wish you more and more success in your life. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your time, Zubia. Have a good one. Thank you. Khudafiz.
Okay. So, viewers, this is it for today. Inshallah, see you soon with some another amazing personality. Till then, take care. Allah Hafiz.